What's going on, Aces? Welcome back to the channel. Anita Baker, after going on a long Twitter rant, has decided to permanently remove Babyface from the tour. Now, if you guys remember, a while back I made a video about them not getting along and Anita Baker and Babyface going back and forth on Twitter because of what happened in New Jersey. And just to give you a quick recap, what ended up happening was it was technical difficulties, okay? And that's something that can happen with any venue, any concert goer, or any musician. So while, of course, no one wants that, those are things that happen. That's life. You just roll with the punches, right? But what ended up happening is that Anita, she didn't, you know, cut her set short. She didn't really make provisions that Babyface thought that she could have or should have, and he wasn't able to perform at all. So he had to, he let his fans know that he won't be able to perform back in New Jersey, and this was weeks ago, okay? And his fans were understandably upset, but they did get refunds. So for whatever reason, his fans, some of them, right, said some really upsetting things to Miss Baker online, and she was really in her feelings about it. And Miss Anita went on a Twitter rant, and clap back, and they've been going back and forth. Like I said, for the last few weeks. The past couple of days, though, I have to say it was just out of pocket. You know what I mean? It was just disrespectful because I look at Babyface and Anita Baker as our R&B legends, right? Like, we grew up listening to them. A lot of us, grew up cleaning the house on Saturday mornings, listening to Anita Baker. And she was just a favorite, and Babyface as well, right? She's just a favorite of our, aunties and uncles, grandparents, so on and so forth. And they passed that music down to us at the family reunions, spades games, cookouts, barbecues, whatever. And so, again, Anita and Babyface was going back and forth. So he writes, "I am saddened by the news that Anita Baker has decided to remove me from the Songstress tour. It's unfortunate and disheartening to see how things have played out via social media. While I was looking forward to the rest of the date, I have nothing but love and respect for Anita, and I wish her the best for the remainder of her tour. Signed, Babyface." So unfortunately, this is a result of, her really saying that, this is my tour. Like, she was the headliner. And I think that Babyface, because he's been in the record business for so long with, him creating LaFace Records, or, him being the co-owner of that, and just being such a huge musical force in and of himself, like leaving the group after 7, starting his own solo career, having his own solo music, but also just being such a huge songwriter for a lot of R&B artists. I think that he wasn't prepared for maybe Anita just letting him know, like, you're my supporting act, you're my opener, I'm the headliner. And it's unfortunate to have seen them go back and forth. A lot of his fans, in my opinion, and that's what people do on Twitter. They were a bit disrespectful to Anita, but I was surprised how hard she was clapping back. And this made me laugh because it said, where she goes, he hates Beyonce as well. Kenny's crazy. So, sorry. I wasn't expecting for Beyonce to be catching strays because she's on her own tour right now. And there is no supporting act, right? Because Beyonce stands on her own. But in all seriousness, though, it was sad to see them going back and forth. I mean, especially with Anita. I look at her almost as like Dionne Warwick. I'm not sure how old she is. I know she has to be like in her 60s or 70s. But it says, oh, 65. Okay. So Love B. Scott right here, she says, Anita Baker pops off at narcissist Kenneth Babyface Edmonds and his fans. She calls them, Kenny's crazies are online bullies. And then Anita quote tweets it and she says, this is what happens when grown men from Babyface fan base threaten you, a 65-year-old woman, and you ask him to help stop the harassment. Hashtag Anita Baker being harassed, threatened is the real headline, but masses blogs won't print that. So this, and I'm not even going to show y'all all the Twitter, the tweets that she wrote, and you guys can go down that long Twitter rabbit hole. I was reading a couple of them, but to me, it's sad, right? So for a few things, one, I feel like Babyface could have made more of a stance to say, don't harass Anita. But at the same time, if you're beefing with anyone, right, it's human nature. You're not going to go against the people who you feel are in your corner, especially if you felt a blow to your ego back what happened in New Jersey, where Babyface, he was upset that he wasn't able to perform because, in my opinion, I feel like Anita could have had that compromise and gave him some grace, cut a few of her songs, maybe like at least 20 or 30 minutes to give him time to perform before they had to leave the venue, because the venue was really strict about the time that they had to perform, and it didn't matter if they had technical difficulties or not, right? So they had to respect the venue and their rules. But Twitter harassment and online bullying is, serious as well, especially with Anita and even, Kenny, like Babyface, like they didn't come up in the age of social media. I feel like the millennials were the first generation that really kind of grew up with social media. Now Gen Z, they're, like the masters of it. But again, I was just really surprised at the things that she said. Like, why is Beyonce in it? You know what I mean? Her Nene voice. Like, now why am I in it? Now, see, I get thrown in the stuff. I ain't even did nothing. Like, Beyonce is on her world tour on stage dancing with Blue. You know what I mean? Like, there's no problem there because Beyonce is going to run her own tour. And at the same time, I feel like Anita wanted that same, deference or respect, especially since this is her farewell tour, right? I mean, I don't know. She said it was, but because of all the crazy ups and downs, I mean, she may do another one. I would love if, Babyface had his own tour. You know what I mean? And that way he could be his own headliner and we wouldn't have these disagreements and, upsets in regards to whether there's, technical difficulties, who can go on. You don't have to put anybody off your own tour because you're the headliner and what you say goes. So with that being said, let me know in the comments your thoughts on the Babyface versus Anita Baker debacle. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe if you're new here, and I will talk to you later. Take care, aces. Bye.